Today, I'm going to show you two simple ways that you can start using tritone substitutions in your improvisation. Let's get started. If you don't already know how to use a tritone substitution in your improvisation, then this is the video that you are going to want to watch. I'm going to keep it really simple, and by the end of this short video, you'll be able to use them functionally in your solos. So let's just start off with the term tritone substitution, because that actually tells you everything you need to know. So the tri in tritone obviously means three. The tone in tritone means whole tone or whole step. So we have three whole steps. So if we are in the key of G and we go up three whole steps, we have G to A to B, and B to C sharp. So that tritone would be a C sharp. G to C sharp is your tritone. We usually call that a sharp 4 or a flat 5. And of course, we can also refer to it as a tritone. Now, the substitution part of tritone substitution just means we're going to swap out one chord for another. And it's called a tritone substitution. So obviously, we are going to swap out one chord for its tritone. So here are a couple things that are really important. First, tritone substitutions are usually done over a dominant seventh chord. So when you have a dominant seventh chord, you can use a tritone substitution. Second, when you do the tritone substitution, you don't play the original chord. You swap it out for the tritone. So if we were soloing over a G7 chord, we would not play a G7 chord. We would play the tritone of the G7, which would be a C sharp 7 chord. So a tritone substitution is when you swap out a dominant seventh chord for its tritone. Now, the easiest place to start off practicing and playing tritone substitutions is in a 2-5-1 chord progression. So if we do a 2-5-1 chord progression in the key of C, we have D minor 7, G7, and C major 7. That is one of the most popular chord progressions in jazz music, the 2-5-1. So if we want to add a little extra spice on our 2-5-1, we can swap out that dominant seventh chord, which of course is the 5 chord, for its tritone. So the tritone for a G7 would be a C sharp 7. The reason this tritone substitution works so well is because you have the same thirds and sevenths in both of these chords, except they are just reversed. So in your G7, you have a G, B, D, and F. So you have a B as your third and an F as your seventh. And for the C sharp 7, which is your tritone, your 1 is a C sharp, your 3 is an E sharp, which is the same as an F, and your 5 is a G sharp, and your 7 is a B. So you have an F and a B as your third and seventh in both of those chords, in the G7 and in the C sharp 7. That's why the tritone substitution works so well and sounds so good. All right, now that we've got the theory down, now let's talk about how to use them in a solo. So if we're doing a 2-5-1, we have a D minor 7, a C sharp 7, which is your tritone substitution, and your C major 7. We can do that as a walk down, and it's actually going to sound pretty inside. So I play D minor 7, then I walk down a half step to the C sharp 7, then I walk down another half step to the C major 7. And when you play your tritone substitution like that, it sounds like a walk down. It's an inside way of playing outside, meaning that you're playing outside notes, but they don't sound outside because they're sandwiched in between that D minor 7 and the C major 7. Now, if you want your tritone substitution to sound a little bit more outside and have a little bit more grit and special sauce to it, then you are going to want to stack them. So I'll start off by playing a D minor 7 chord, a D, F, A, C. Then I'll go up a half step and play my C sharp 7 chord, which is the tritone substitution. And then that goes up another half step, that B. So I played C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, B. That B resolves to the 1, which is a C. This is what it sounds like all together. When you play your tritone substitution like that, it's going to sound more outside and just give you some more grit and texture to your solo. So you have two options. You can walk it down, or you can stack it. When you start off playing tritone substitutions, I recommend using the two methods that I just showed you. But once you feel comfortable with that, feel free to try them out on any dominant seventh chord that you play. Now, sometimes it's going to sound better than others, just like in any other solo strategy. So you're going to want to just kind of practice it and see where it works and where it doesn't work quite as well. And that's it. Hopefully now you understand what a tritone substitution is and you are ready to start working them into your improv solos. Are there any other musical terms or improv concepts that you'd like me to do a tutorial on? If so, leave it in a comment below. Thanks for taking the time to check out this tutorial. If you'd like to dive deeper into my saxophone world, come check me out at the Scott Paddock Sax School.